Hi, Foothill. It's Miss Bader for another week of yoga. We're going to start again with some stretches because it seems like this is a time when we all need stretches. I know that I do. So we're going to do some shoulder circles. So start going one direction. Get them nice and high. So up near your ears and back and around. Now let's switch directions. So if you were going up and back, now you're going up and forward. Get those shoulders all the way up. Okay, all finished. Now let's do some wrist circles. So we'll start going one direction. Get nice, big, round circles. So get a lot of movement in your wrists. And let's switch. The opposite direction. Okay. Now we're going to take a wide-legged seat. So you stretch your legs out to the side as far as it is comfortable. If it's painful in your inner thighs, you can bring your legs closer together, but I do want it to be a stretch. So again, with yoga, we want it to stretch. We don't want it to hurt. So then take one hand. I'm going to do my right hand. So I'm going to place my right hand on the floor, and then I'm going to lift my left arm up overhead. And you can move that bottom hand out so you can reach. So top arm is going up over that ear, and you can look up to the ceiling, but you want to feel a nice stretch up your side body. Sitting up tall, so not slumping into your lower back. Flex your feet so that you're pushing out through the balls of your feet. And come back up and switch. So I'm going to put my left hand down. My right arm is going to come up overhead. Sit up with my lower back nice and flat. Feet are flexed. And come up. So now we're going to do, I haven't done these before, but we're going to do hip circles. So we're going to come to all fours, and then as it sounds, we're just going to do nice big circles with our hips. You're going to come forward to the side and whoa, all the way around. It's almost as if you're going back into a child's pose, but you're not sitting all the way down and coming forward. Okay, now we're going to switch directions. So you're going to go the opposite direction. All right. Now let's take a butterfly pose, but we're actually going to lie down. So it's what we call a supine butterfly. So bring the soles of your feet together and then bring your hands behind you. You can lower down to your elbows to go a little slower, and then all the way down onto your back. Let's do some mindful breathing here. So one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. And we're going to inhale Belly's gonna expand like a balloon inflating. Exhale, that balloon deflates, your belly's gonna drop. So keep going at your own pace. Nice, take your time, so maybe count to 4 as you inhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and do those on your own. Keep going. Nice big inhales, big exhales. And now let's bring your hands on the outside of your thighs and pull your knees together. While we're here, let's do some leg lifts. This is core work here. We did a little bit of that a few weeks ago. So you're gonna, let's do this first. So bend your knees, lift your hips up a little bit, and put your hand and sit back down on your hands. Sometimes a little height when we do this helps with our back. So we're gonna lift both legs up, all the way up, and strengthen these abdominal muscles, and we're gonna slowly lower our feet. So we're not gonna drop them, we're gonna lower slowly. Lift back up again. You should feel this in your abdominal muscles. If you don't, you're using your back, and that is not a good thing. So you want to feel this in your belly, not your back. So what you want to try and do is, let's hold off here. So there's a natural curve on your lower back. You want that to be flat. So make sure that you're trying to get as much of your back on the floor or on the mat as possible. You don't want to have space here where I can put my hand through here. I want to lean all the way back. I want to tilt my pelvis so that my back is all on the mat, on the floor. So again, all of your back is stuck to the floor, almost as if it's stuck to the floor. Lift your legs. And without lifting up any of your back off the mat, you're going to lower, 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 lower. If you get to the point where your back wants to come up off the floor, then you've gotten too far, and just bring your legs back up. See if you can push your belly down and get all of your lower back onto the mat or the floor. Up, bend your knees. Let's do single leg lifts. So keep one knee bent and lift one leg slowly, slowly. See how slow you can lower that leg all the way down. Lift that back up again. And let's switch. All the way up. Slowly lower. Again, we're pressing our lower backs into the floor again. And I'll come back up. Check my timer. I don't want to go over time. Okay. So let's come to a tabletop. Move, fingers are spread wide like starfish. And move your knees back, tuck your toes. Inhale up to a downward facing dog. Tops of your thighs are up to the ceiling. Arms are straight and strong. Legs are straight and strong. Use your abdominal muscles, suck your lower belly in. And you can either step or hop to your feet to meet your hands, or I wanted to say to the front of your mat, but I know not all of you have yoga mats. So push into your feet, inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do a couple rounds of sun salutations. It's been a little while since we've done those. So if you have a yoga mat, you're going to come to the front of your yoga mat. Otherwise, make sure you have some space behind you and a little bit in front of you. First, we're going to start in our mountain pose. So feet are parallel, toes pointed straight ahead, shoulders away from ears, shoulder blades hugged together on your back, engaging your quadricep muscles, strong legs, strong arms. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And then we're going to swan dive down to the mat into a forward fold. So I'm going to open up, swan dive down to the mat, fingertips on the mat. If you need to, bend your knees a little bit. And bring your hands to your shins, creating a flat back. And then plant your hands, step back to a plank. And let's review. Planks are not with hips super high like that. They're not with hips super low. You are like a straight, strong plank of wood. And then you can lower slowly down, bending your elbows, lower, 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 lower. Untuck your toes so the tops of your feet are on the mat. Hands are on either side of your chest. Hug your elbows in towards your body, shoulders away from ears, pushing into the tops of your feet. Inhale, come up for cobra. So shoulders, make sure they're away from your ears. And you can do a snake breath. If you know what that is and you want to do it, you can do it on the way down. Lower slowly down. Tuck toes. And you're going to push back to puppy pose. So hips are up. Hands are out in front of you. And push back up to downward facing dog. You can step or hop to the front of your mat. Push into your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Anjali Mudra. Nice job. Let's do, because we always like to do things in threes in yoga, so let's do 2 more rounds of sun salutations. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive down to the mat. Knees bent if you need, but fingertips are on the mat. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to a plank. A nice strong plank. You can either lower all the way down, or you can go ahead and do knees, chest, chin. So you would lower your knees first, lower your chest, and then your chin, straighten all the way out. Elbows hug in towards your body. Push into your hands. Inhale for cobra. Tuck your toes. Push. Whoops. I forgot what I wanted to do. We're going to go back to puppy pose. Got a little ahead of myself here. And push back, up and back, downward facing dog. You may either step or hop to meet your fingertips. Feet meet your fingertips. And push into your hands. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Nice job. I'm going to turn. You don't have to. I just would rather not look at my closet door anymore. I'm going to step to the front of my mat. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to a plank. Either lower all the way down or knees, chest, chin like we just did. Untuck toes, hugging elbow tips towards your body, shoulders away from your ears. Push into your hands and the tops of your feet for cobra. And tuck your toes, push back to puppy. And back, up and back, downward facing dog. step or hop forward to the front of your mat. Push into your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. And I've got to look at my clock. Make sure I don't want to take too much of your time. We're doing okay for time. So let's go ahead and do tree pose. We all love tree pose. So we're going to stand, feet are parallel, toes are pointed straight ahead. Have a little bit of distance between your feet. Bring your hands to your hips. You're going to shift the weight over to one foot. So for me, I'm going to shift the weight over to my right foot. I'm going to lift my left knee. Open my knee out to the side. I'm going to reach down and I'm going to grab my foot. Maybe my foot is going to go up here above my knee. Maybe it's going to go down here below my knee. Maybe it's going to come, my heel is going to be at my ankle. You decide, whoa, what you're most comfortable with. Sometimes, you can even use a wall to help you get your balance like I'm doing right now. And find a drishti, find something ahead of you that is not moving. You want to push your foot into your inner thigh and resist that with your legs. So you're kind of pushing against each other. So two forces coming together here. Hands at your heart. If you're feeling super balanced, arms can reach up to the sky. If you fall out of tree pose, that's okay. You can go right back in. And hands back to Anjali Mudra. Lower your foot, shake it out. And we will do the other side. So, again, feet are a little bit apart. Toes pointed straight ahead. Shift your weight to the opposite foot. I am shifting my weight to my left foot. I'm going to lift my right knee, open out to the side. I'm going to reach down. I'm going to grab my foot. And I'm feeling really out of balance today. I'm going to bring my foot in to my inner thigh, above my knee. Hands to heart. I'm going to look for a drishti point, something ahead of me that's not moving, that's going to help me balance. Grow my branches up to the sky. And again, props are a good thing. We don't have blocks or other props that you might see in a yoga studio, but you have a wall, likely. I know most of you do. You know, a few of my friends out there are not practicing right next to a wall. And hands to heart. Lower that foot. Shake it out. And let's see. Let's do a couple seated poses. So actually, I know what we're going to do. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive down to the mat. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to a downward facing dog. And lower down to your knees. Keep your toes tucked. So you see my toes are on the mat, my heels are pointing up. And then come up so that you're standing on your knees. All right? We're going to go into camel ustrasana. And it's easier with the full expression of the pose would be with toes untucked. I find that to be a little challenging. So we're going to do this with toes tucked. You're gonna make sure you have a nice straight back. Shoulders are down, away from your ears. Shoulder blades are hugging together on your back. And picture if you could just take your rib cage and lift it up. And with your shoulder blades hugging together on your back, you're gonna reach back with one hand and find that heel. Maybe you need to look back for it. And do the same thing with the other hand and heel. Chest reaches up to the sky and look up at the sky. And when you're ready, come back and untuck your toes. We're gonna sit back on our heels. Sort of a child's pose here, but not a real wide-legged one. So sitting on heels, lowering forehead to the mat, reaching arms out in front. And let's come back up to our tabletop. Let's come down to our forearms and all the way down to our bellies. We're going to do just a nice gentle back bend here. So you're on your forearms, hands are out in front of you, fingers are spread wide like starfish. Bring your elbows closer to your body. Push into your elbows so you get a nice little bend in your lower back and your upper back. All right, now we're gonna do this. We're gonna bend. I'm gonna bend my right knee. I'm gonna take my right arm. I'm gonna bring it around, and I'm gonna hold on to my right foot. I'm gonna reach around, bend my left knee, hold on to my left foot with my left hand, and then I'm gonna kick my feet into my hands, lifting my thighs up off the mat, keeping my knees. I don't want knees really wide. They don't need to be touching, but they need to not be too far apart. And see how much of your body can lift up off the floor. And lower down. Stack one hand on top of the other. Rest a cheek on your hands. We'll take a few breaths here. We're going to do that bow pose again. So reach back. I'm going to switch and do my left leg first. So I'm bending my left knee, reaching back with my left hand. I'm going to bend my right knee, reach back with my right hand. And I'm going to kick my feet into my hands, lift my torso. And I always think that I'm lifting a lot more of my body off the mat than I am. And then I look at my laptop and I see that, wow, I'm really not that high up. But I bet that some of you can get super high. And we're gonna lower that down. Stack one hand on top of the other. Rest your other cheek on your hands. Take a nice breath here. All right, now you're gonna roll over onto your back. We're gonna do a bridge pose here. So knees are bent, feet are on the mat or the floor. I gotta get out of the habit of saying mat because I know you're not all using yoga mats. All right, knees bent, feet on the floor, robot arms. So fingertips are pointed up towards the sky. Push into your feet, lift your hips up, clasp your hands underneath your body, shimmy both shoulder blades underneath your body, and lift your hips up even higher. If you want a little bit of a challenge, see if you can straighten one leg up to the sky. If that seems like too much, definitely don't do it. If you did lift one up, you need to even things up and lift the upper one. Now you're going to go back to robot arms and lower slowly, slowly, slowly back down to the floor. Now, bring your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around your knees, give yourself a big hug, curl yourself up in a little ball. And we're going to do one more. Robot arms, Pushing into your feet, pushing into your elbows, lift your hips, clasp your hands underneath your body, shimmy those shoulder blades underneath your body, lift your hips up even higher. And for those of you who want to, you may lift one leg up, certainly optional. But if you do, make sure you even it out and do both sides. Back to robot arms. And slowly, slowly, slowly lower back down. And now we're going to go to cactus arms. So backs of your hands are on the floor. Elbows are bent. And I'm going to lower both knees off to the left. Then I'm going to turn my head to the right. Just a nice gentle twist. And bring your knees back up to center and lower them to the other side. So mine are going off to the right. I'm going to turn my head to the left. Bring your knees back up to center. And you're going to straighten your legs all the way out. Bring your arms long by your sides. Palms are facing up towards the sky. Just make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. And close your eyes. Bodies are still. Feet splay out to the side. Muscles get heavy. I'm clearing out those monkey mind thoughts. Bodies are still. Trying not to move a single muscle. And remember that Shavasana is a great way to calm your mind, calm your body when you're feeling a little stressed. Now quietly and gently come back into the room and wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, just a little bit of movement. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. Give yourself a big hug. Lift one arm up overhead. And then roll your body over to that side using that arm as a pillow for your head. Use your top arm to push yourself up to a seated position. You can be in Sukhasana or easy pose, which is what I'm doing right now. You can also sit in Virasana or hero pose. So knees are bent, heels are over here by your hips, making sure you don't slump into your lower back because that is very bad for us. So sitting up nice and tall. We'll take a breath together, then close out for the week. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Bring your hands to your forehead to remember kind thoughts. Hands to your mouth to remember kind words. Hands to your heart to remember kind actions and Namaste. Thank you, boys and girls. I will see you next week. I hope you have a great week. Let me know if you have any questions or any requests. Bye.